Hello everyone and welcome back to another Universe Sandbox video. Today I'm going to be showing off some future events which our solar system in general will be facing. So anyways, yeah, random supernova, I don't know. But anyways, first of all, let's go into my custom solar system with my epic Planet 9 and Sentinel in the red and blue. It looks really awesome. But anyways, the first thing that would happen in the future. So I'm just doing it over future events. Pretty interesting stuff basically, but first of all, look at just look at Earth, okay, it shouldn't be like that. Let's just put up, let's put it to 20 degrees, I don't know. So anyways, let's do that. So first of all, Earth itself, you know about it has a molten core, obviously, so that means it's still geologically active, which means as well that its content will change. So over time, it is believed that Africa will collide into Europe and like that Asia area. I think also what's that? Antarctica will also rise up from the South Pole and like be actually available for humans to live on because it won't be cold anymore, because I think it will move up from the south to around the equator area. Anyways, and also if we just speed time up a bit as well, polar caps are melting as well. Obviously we know that's a fact, and obviously it will happen eventually because the sun's heating up. So anyways, let's go to where I live in the UK, and because the Earth's water levels are rising, I click it once. Okay, that's a little too much, but anyways, let's just add it up here. So over time, the River Thames in London will flood eventually because the water levels are getting way too high. So anyways, is it gonna rise, please? Do I need to play? Yeah, look, you can see there, the water levels will rise. A lot of the United Kingdom, sadly, will be now underwater, as you can see there, if I just pause it quick. Yeah, you can see that London should be, if you can see my mouse, I think you can, yeah. London will be around here, and I live in this section as well. I won't say where, but yeah, I live in southern England. But anyways, yeah, so London is going to die. Look at Ireland as well. Scotland's okay because it has higher land, but anyways, if we zoom out as well, so just the UK, we've got a lot of Europe, Asia, all those areas that speed up even more. The Amazon rainforest river has flooded. I can't remember what it's called. The Amazon, I think it's just called the Amazon River or something like that. I don't know. Correct me on that if I'm wrong, but yeah, a lot of the water will flood eventually. And also, so let's just leave Earth to do its thing now, because that's not the only thing that will be happening in our solar system while that's going on. So also, if we go to Saturn, you know it all has rings. So let's just quickly add those on. There we go, let's put them there. Hopefully it won't crash my computer. So there we go, there's Saturn's rings. Let's remove these tails and stuff. So here's Saturn. Now, we believe, if you saw one of my old videos, it was just music and gameplay. I had a moon crash into an asteroid and then it made a explosion and all the debris formed the rings. But over time, these rings will just disappear. They will eventually just completely disappear until Saturn just becomes just an ordinary planet with just moons and nothing special about it. So it won't be everyone's favourite planet anymore, because really by itself, without the rings, it doesn't really look that interesting. It's kind of like Uranus. Even Uranus is blue in real life. Kind of looks a little more interesting than this colour here. But anyways, so Saturn will lose its rings over time. But also, while that's happening, oops, I just have like a thing in front of me to tell me what I need to say. I want to make sure I say everything. So also, if we go to, where is it? I want to go to the solar system major moon. So where's that? There we go. Major moons. All right. Let's just remove the asteroids quick. Okay, something's happened at Mars there. I don't know what that's about. But anyways, I want to go to Neptune here. So let's zoom in. All right. So there's Triton. You see Triton. Triton, we believe, did not actually like form next to Neptune because of the way it orbits backwards around Neptune. So if I quickly, yeah, I think I'll do it in a normal simulation. So if I get the Neptune, why do I say the Neptune? If I get Neptune, so I just need to pause it, press that, and I want to quickly go auto orbit so they don't crash into Neptune. So here we go, here's Neptune and all of its moons in all of their glory. So there we go. I think but look at the way Triton's going. I think it's going, is it going the wrong way? I don't know, but yeah. The point is, Neptune's moon Triton goes the wrong way around Neptune for some reason. I don't know if the game's doing it right now. Oh yeah, the game isn't doing it right. Dang it. It's because I hit auto orbit. It like messes everything up. But Okay, let's try that again, one more time. So all planets and all moons. Let's just do this. Because it doesn't have like the asteroids lagging me as much. So anyways. So hopefully it will work this time. So where is Triton? So there's Triton. And let's go to the orbits. Please? You gonna show me the orbits? Okay, this is just unacceptable now, but these, as you can see, these inner moons here, these asteroid moons, they are going, if you can see my mouse as well, they are going round like this, but Triton is going, what's that? Is that clockwise? Yeah, Triton is going clockwise, but all of these moons are going anti-clockwise. So that is suspicious that we think that, obviously Triton, like I said, Triton did not form around Neptune. So we think it would have been a dwarf planet that was captured by Neptune. And then it's just been in orbit ever since. But there's a big but to this. The point I'm actually getting to is this orbit of Triton will not actually last forever. It's eventually going to move inwards to Neptune. So let's just slow this down. Okay, there we go. That's better. And its orbit will decay, and it won't move in like this, but over time, I'm just speeding it up because this would be millions of years going past. Eventually it will get so close to Neptune that Neptune's tidal forces will start to tear the moon apart completely. As you can see here, you can see all of the debris is starting to come out. So you can imagine what's going to happen. Like I showed you in the Saturn video, two objects collided and it made a ring system. So what's going to happen with Triton here is Neptune's gravity is going to tear it apart. It's going to lose all of this mass, and Neptune will have a ring system. So let's see this. I don't know how well the rings are going to be on here because of the way it's going around, but there we go. You can start to see that rings are starting to like appear. So we'll also speed up the process. So it'll be getting so close at this point. So Neptune will be so strong, its gravity will be so strong, it will just tear Triton apart completely. So its surface will get really, really hot. It will start to completely explode. This is pretty close what would probably happen. So yeah, Neptune's tidal forces just tear the entire object apart. As you can see there, it's still just breaking apart. And you can see all of the mass and all of these fragments of gas and silicate and iron and stuff like that, all just going to go. And there we go. Not as much debris as I hoped, but rings will form around Neptune, so we'll get something like this, hopefully. So as you can see there are rings around Neptune. So if I just put this in, flashlight mode, yeah, you can see the rings there. So they won't be exactly like that, but yeah, you get the point. So Neptune will have a ring system. So while Saturn loses its rings, Neptune will gain rings, because if some of you already know, Neptune actually already has rings. They're called ring arcs, so they're like incomplete rings. They have like bits missing, but these will be proper rings. So actually, if I remove that quickly, let's try and make it a little more realistic. So let's get Saturn's rings, and let's just make their distance to Neptune closer. So let's do 30,000 kilometers away, and then let's do 60,000. That. So we will get a ring system like that. Now that looks better. I'm still lagging a bit, but yeah, that would be like Neptune's new ring system. So putting that in like realistic mode, yeah, I think that looks pretty awesome, don't you think? Yeah, so tell me what you think. Does that look cool? Anyways, let's remove that. And next up, so also while Neptune's moon Triton is crashing into Neptune, we will also have Mars's moon doing the same thing. So if we go all the way to Mars from here, so the closer one of the two and the larger one, the moon Phobos, or Phobos, I think that's the way you say it. So also if we go here, there it is. So here's Phobos. This is also destined to get so close to Mars that Mars's tidal forces will also tear this apart. So also, let's do this. So let's get the motion. Let's put it closer to Mars, because that's what's going to happen eventually. So now, it's got so close to Mars, Mars's tidal forces should start tearing the moon apart. So let's heat it up to about, I don't know, how hot would it be? 5,000 maybe? So there we go. The moon is starting to get torn apart by Mars's extreme gravity because it's so close. So let's put it a little close as well. Yeah, this moon is going to get torn apart. So that's, why is it just see-through? I think we made it too hot. Yeah, there we go. That's a little. Okay, that's not good at all. Let's do 800 maybe. There we go. So it's going to get warmed up by Mars's extreme gravity. You can see it's lost mass already. And now let's explode it the same way we did with Triton. So there we go. Mars's gravity is just going to tear the entire thing up completely. So then Mars will only have one moon remaining, which is Deimos. Deimos? I don't know how you say it. Deimos. Deimos. I can never say it. I can say Phobos, okay, though. But anyways, as you see here, Mars is just destroying it. Sadly, the game won't like do it for some reason right now, but yeah. It's losing a lot of mass and it's not really surviving. Wait, is it going to survive? Come on. Oh, it just vaporized completely. Okay, there we go. So also, because Mars will tear that apart, obviously it's going to lose a lot of mass. So also, Mars will have a ring system as well. So wait, let's just remove that. Let's make it... Oops. Oh, I don't want to do that. Alright. So, where is it? Kilometers I want. So let's do about 4,000 kilometers. And then let's go kilometers on here as well to about... Let's do 8,000. So there we go. So we'll get a smaller ring system, but it'd be something like this. Because obviously Phobos doesn't have a lot of mass, it won't have a lot of stuff to come out of it like Triton, because Triton's a lot larger than Phobos. So anyways, yeah, so we'll get a smaller ring system like this. These objects, yeah, like they're look how big they are, centimeters. Like in like galactic terms, like centimeters is just like less than a piece of dust, pretty much. Yeah, so it make these tiny little pieces of debris, but because there's so many of them, you'll be able to see them from quite a far distance. So the red planet will have a ring system. It will just have one moon left, which will be the largest object in orbit, because this is 6.9 kilometers. So that's about, yeah, 6,200 meters, I think. I don't know. I suck at math, okay? Don't judge me. But anyways, there we go. So there's Mars. It will have its own ring system. Next up as well is if we go to... I just want to remove that stop lag. So if we go to Earth, we obviously have the moon. But as you may know, the moon gets further away from Earth every orbit, or like every year. It gets like a few meters away every year. So eventually... So if we go to the moon's like thing here, the orbital elements... Instead of getting closer to the Earth, the moon will get further away. Wait, so let's just pause this quick. So the moon will actually start to leave Earth completely. So it will eventually become like one of those other moons. So you may have heard, Earth actually had a second moon in 2015. It had a little asteroid that came along and it orbited Earth for a bit, but because it was so far from Earth over here, you can see there's a border, like you see where it orbits the sun and the Earth. It was like here somewhere, so it was orbiting the sun, Earth caught it for a bit, then it had like a weird orbit around Earth, like had a weird orbit like this, but then as it, I don't know how it worked, but it escaped Earth and the sun, it started orbiting the sun again, and it ran away. So that's pretty much what happened with that moon. So Earth did have a second moon. You can Google it. Earth actually had 2 moons recently. So anyways, our moon will eventually meet the same fate. So it will get so far away from Earth that it will get in the sun's gravity, so the moon will eventually become a planet in theory. Is it going to happen now, or are we still in orbit of Earth? Yeah, you can see, look at the orbit. And then when it gets to this point here, the sun's gravity will just steal the moon completely. So there we go. I got a lot of lag for some reason. I don't know what this is all about. A lot of lag. But anyways, you can see the point. Let's speed up. There we go. Why is it going so slow? Oh my god. It's because of all the moons. Oh, something's happened at Mars. Why is all that stuff at Mars happening? I don't know. In fact, let's just delete that because I don't want that happening. And let's remove that. Right, there we go. So the moon is going to get so far away from Earth that its orbit will just completely eradicate and it will completely disappear. There we go, see it there. That's what happened with the second moon Earth had in 2015. And now the moon is closer to the sun, it will go around the sun faster, so it will eventually just leave Earth behind. Okay, this is not cool now. Okay, let's just go to solar system again. Obviously all the moons are lagging, so anyways, so let's go back to what we were doing, so slow down time a bit. So the moon just escaped Earth, so instead of being in the Earth's orbit, it will be in the sun's orbit like that. So there we go. And now the moon will be pretty much a new planet. So now instead of having 4 inner planets, we'll have 5, because I think the moon is large enough to be classed as a planet, because it's a lot larger than Pluto. Like, if Pluto is a dwarf planet, then you compare it to something large like this, or well, the moon is quite a lot larger, so you compare it to something like that. Would you declare the moon a planet? Because it's not in orbit of the Earth anymore, it's in orbit of a star now, so you would think it would be classed a planet, but I don't know. That's honestly, wait, if I just get the smallest exoplanet ever, yep, I would say the moon would be classed a planet, because this is the smallest planet found, the Kepler 37b. You've probably seen it in a lot of other people's videos if you see things like this. You probably saw it in my size comparison as well. Kepler 37b is a planet, and it's smaller than the moon. So in my opinion, the moon will actually become a planet if it escapes Earth. We don't know for sure if it will escape, but we think it will. So the moon will escape. So I would class the moon as a planet. So instead of just being called the moon, it'd probably be called like Luna. Am I spelling that right? Something like that. I don't know. Is it ER or AR? I don't know. But there we go. So we'd have a new planet called Luna, maybe. I don't know. I just made that up all by myself. The name of that. But yeah. So we have Mercury, Venus, Luna, Earth, Mars. And then we have Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, blah blah blah. So that means we'd have a proper 8 or 9 planets now. And if planet 9 isn't real, of course, then we'd have 10 planets. But anyways, next up is also I don't want to go back to the. So let's go back to major moons. And let's just remove the asteroid belt, stop the lag. Why is Mars keep on like exploding like this? I think it's one of its moons. Yeah, look at this. Why is it doing that? It's like a glitch in the game, so let's just remove the 2 moons of Mars. There we go. Shouldn't happen now. Alright, perfect. So next up, we have got Europa and Triton. So you've probably all heard of Europa. It is an ice moon of Jupiter, and we believe it has warm water underneath its very cold surface. Because Jupiter obviously has some gravity, so Jupiter could be heating up, we don't know. But anyways, let's slow it down and remove all that. So as the sun's luminosity increases, because you know eventually it will turn to a red giant, as it gets bigger and its luminosity increases, let's put it to like the mass of 2 suns. Okay, it exploded, I don't want to do that, but look at the luminosity. So let's make that 2 suns. Okay, that didn't go as planned. So let's just go back to what we were doing. So let's turn that off. Alright, and then luminosity, let's put it up to 2 suns. What should we do? Let's do 4 suns. Okay, that was too bad. Okay, I don't want 45. 4 suns. Oh, what happened? Oh my god. I'm trying to teach you people, or I'm trying to say things. Well, sort of teach you, I guess. But anyways, off. Why does it keep on exploding? Didn't used to do this in an old update. So let's make it 4 suns. Okay, so it's a lot bigger now because the sun would have grown in size. I don't want to hit that because I don't want it to supernova. But anyway, so the orbit's all good. Yeah, good enough. Alright. So let's just remove the Mars stuff again. Where's Phobos? Let's remove that because we don't want it like going everywhere, causing all that extra lag. So let's go out of there. So the sun is now brighter. It's 4 suns. So if we go to Jupiter, where's Jupiter? So right here, we zoom in. We go to Europa. Hopefully its temperature will increase. Okay, I don't know why it's doing that. But anyways, let's slow it down again. So also, we don't know, but I'm just going to assume it will have an atmosphere by then. Because, so let's put it up to about 20 degrees. Because Europa's obviously going to heat up. Because the sun's brighter. So let's put it to 15. That's pretty much like average to Earth. Because Earth at this time will be too hot. Come on, please melt. I don't know why it keeps on like smoking like this. Why does it keep on losing mass? Why is it getting cold again? Let's turn the albedo down to... Please heat up. Why? Why do this? Let's turn that up. Yeah, but eventually... I don't know. It's just a game. It's not me mucking around. So let's put it to atmosphere of Earth. Why is it not heating up? Okay, this is just not okay now. Two Earths? Okay, I don't know what it's doing now, but... So 20 degrees, please. Do I have to put it up to like 50? Please just turn to water. Is it going to turn to water? Okay, that's just not okay. So let's just go to a new simulation. So let's quickly get Jupiter. And I'll just put Europa around it. So there's Jupiter. And then Europa. So let's put it about there. I don't know its precise distance. So there we go. There's Europa. Oh, come on. Let me zoom in. Let's pause that. There we go. So there's Europa. There's Jupiter. We don't need the other moons because they're not relevant to this. But anyways. So Europa's temperature will probably go to something like that. Okay, this is just not acceptable now. Why? Why you do this? Let's put it up to like... Let's just do 100. Okay, that's just really annoying now. My god, why? So it can't... So should I just put the sun here? Let's put it like the distance of Earth, I don't know. Alright, now this should work. So let's put Jupiter so it orbits around the sun. Europa so it orbits around Jupiter. Alright, there we go. Now I'm hoping that water will go... Okay, this is just not okay. Why? Why is it doing this? Right, anyways, I won't waste your time. So let's literally just get a random planet, a random moon. Let's put it down. Let's cover it in water. Like that. Put the temperature up to, say, 20 degrees. See, now it doesn't go down as quick. See, look, Europa should have done this. So there we go. So Europa will turn something like that. So then it would have liquid ocean, completely liquid. So, because we think Europa's obviously pretty much made of water completely. And we don't know if it will have an atmosphere, but if it has no atmosphere, I don't think life will evolve. But let's just say it does have an atmosphere. So it'll look something like this. So we'd have a very cool looking moon around Jupiter, which would be really cool to explore, because obviously I'm guessing it's quite easy to have a submarine spaceship rather than like a drilling through the surface. So we do something like that. So we don't know for sure, but apparently, from what I've heard, life could actually be existing in Europa right now, because they think underneath the cold surface, so let's put it back to, let's put it to minus 999, minus 270. So below this freezing cold surface, let's just hide the atmosphere as well. So below this freezing surface, they think there's actually warm water in the middle of it. So let's just add a lot of water. There we go. So they think, come on, open up, please. There we go. So they think underneath this freezing surface, there is warm water here, and they think there could be some sort of like bacteria or anything below its surface. So let's just call that Europa. Europa, like that. I think that's like, is that how you spell it? No, I spelled it wrong, haven't I? Europa. How do I spell it? Where is it? Oh no, I can spell it normally. Europa. P-O... Okay, I think I spelled that right. Anyways, so there we go. That's all Europa done. And also, I don't want to go back to normal civilization, so I actually made a custom Titan here. So you obviously know Titan, the moon of Saturn. So there we go. So also, you know, there's liquid methane oceans on here right now. And obviously, in the future, the sun will heat up. So we don't know for sure, but maybe one day humans could actually get water on Titan like that. Now, that looks pretty cool. It's obviously not accurate, though, because there's no, like, texture for Titan in the game. So it's just, like, a custom texture. But Titan's surface is more of an orangey, sort of like an orangey... It's sort of like an orangey Mars sort of colour. Like, something like this, maybe? I don't know. But something like that. Let's just go with that. I don't know. That looks weird. So let's just go something like that for now. So, Titan. So, obviously, it looks like that with the atmosphere. But, obviously, right now, it looks like this. And then, let's just say the black spots are like oceans of methane. Because obviously we know it has oceans of methane. We landed the Cassini-Huygens probe on it, and we saw it had, or we scanned it, and it had not water, but methane on it. So maybe one day, also, as the sun heats up, this place could be available to colonize, and we could maybe like grow stuff here. I don't know. So the future is an interesting thing. I love future. Like, futurism is so much more interesting than like history and stuff like that. Futurism is just so interesting. I prefer it much more because it's more to do with like astronomy and stuff as well, which is awesome. So obviously, it's pretty obvious I like astronomy. But anyways, getting back to the point, Titan could be one day colonizable. So there we go. And also, the main thing that will happen in the future. So let's just go to a whole new. Let's just go to my simulation because it seems to work better for some reason. So there we go. So go right here. Now I want to remove the sun completely, and I want to go into my custom objects and type that. So we get the red giant sun. So this is its maximum size. I don't know why it's glowing blue on the edges there. But anyways, that is our red giant sun. That's how big it would be. So Earth is literally on the danger point of being incinerated by this red star, which is crazy because look how big this thing is. But honestly though, it's not that big, because if you compare it to UI Scuti, which is the largest star, or let's just get VY Canis Majoris, I like that one more. Yeah, the sun will never become a Titan in the galaxy. Like, this thing is way too big. But anyways, so this is my custom one. Illuminosity of 502 suns, so it makes the whole system crazy. Because this is way after like Europa and Titan will become habitable. This is when the whole solar system will be unsafe. Like if we go to the zone, yeah. Neptune's in the green zone, but honestly, it's still going to get really hot. So let's just make sure all the orbits orbit the new star. There we go. So Earth is literally just going to get absolutely incinerated. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, it's gonna run pretty bad. Look at Vestas. Look at Vesta. That's pretty cool. I like the texture for like the small objects now. It looks really cool. Right, let's zoom out. So if we get all of the objects in the chart mode. Look how small they are. So look, you can see that Jupiter's heating up, 240 degrees. Saturn 115, Uranus 10, Neptune still in the minuses, Planet 9 still minus 230, but then you can see Earth, Mars, Venus and Mercury are already dead now, Mars, Pluto probably warm up, Eris, yeah, we don't need to see all these guys, there's said another, alright, yes, we don't need to zoom out, so it's just the inner stuff that's pretty much crazy. Let's speed up time a little more. And also, because the sun's a lot brighter now, Planet 9, if it exists, will actually have sunlight, because the sun's also going to be a whole ton brighter. Look how bright it is from Planet 9. It's a lot larger in the sky as well. Like, if that is pretty much like almost how big it is from Earth in the present day. So if you can see this from Planet 9, that must mean the sun is pretty crazy. Yeah, so Planet 9 has a sun now. So Planet 9 can eventually maybe warm up, or we'll be able to visit it a little easier. I don't know if it even exists. We don't know if it exists. Anyways, Jupiter's heating up a lot more now. So let's zoom out. And also I want to add my custom Earth in. So let me just quickly add that. Yeah, I made like a custom Earth, like a future Earth. I took a Venus and I changed its surface things and like that. But here's my custom Earth. Let's put it like right there. Let's remove the original Earth. Where is it? Let's turn the labels back on. So let's remove the original Earth, and here's my custom Earth. Let's zoom in. Now, because the surface of Earth isn't going to be all green and stuff, that is my custom Earth right there. You can see all the surface is all brown, all the oceans are gone. Basically, the planet is just like a new version of Venus. You can see that it's all like magma here. It's all the surface is beginning to melt. But anyways, it has a Venus atmosphere because the Earth's when all the water evaporates, it will turn into a Venus-looking like object. So anyways, let's put it up to like 550. You can see the clouds start to like disappear around this temperature. If I hit play, it's just gonna go super hot. So can I heat this up? Okay, I don't know why it's not going, but anyway, let's play it. You can see there the clouds disappear, the whole surface just goes completely molten. But anyways, we believe that the sun won't actually destroy Earth, so please can I nova you? Okay, there we go. So let's do that. Alright, so we have a supernova now. So I'm going to delete the star, because obviously the star will get destroyed. And let's get my custom white dwarf in here. So the white dwarf in the very centre there. You've probably seen loads of people do this like thousands of times. I'm planning to make a whole video on the red giant sun by itself, because it's such a huge topic. Alright, so let's get them to orbit that again. Okay, I don't know why it's doing that, but yeah. They're still in orbit of the white dwarf. They're not going to crash into it, are they? Okay, they're not. So this supernova will just go out, and it's going to destroy pretty much everything. Okay, and then obviously the Earth is going to lose a lot of mass, and it will eventually get, well, we think it will get destroyed. So let's speed this up, please. Okay, there we go. That's better. Oh, look at that. All the orbits are just going to disappear. But anyways, if we remove that, okay, everything's going a little crazy. See, Mars is still alive. Oh no, Earth is still here. Okay, it's gone really weird though. So let's just make it, say 5,000 degrees, or 5,000 kilometers size. Come on, please. 5,000. Okay, so there we go. So let's pretend the Earth survived the sun's explosion. Where's the white dwarf gone? Is the white dwarf still here? Okay, I don't know where the white dwarf's gone. Let's add it back. Let's put it right in the center there, and let's get all of the objects to orbit it. I really hope this works. Okay, there we go. We got a weird object, and obviously, because Jupiter's quite massive as well, because the sun would have lost a lot of mass in the explosion, because it would have lost everything. So the white dwarf is now the mass of 470 Jupiters. Let's make it actually a white dwarf. Can we do that? So it's about 7,000. There we go. There's a white dwarf. So there we go. There's our bright, bright, bright white star. Anyways, if we go back to Earth, Earth's surface is like ridiculously hot now, but eventually it will cool down to a lot colder temperature, and also its surface will still be barren and things like that. We don't know if water will still be on the planet. I don't know why it's all iron. We don't know if water will still be on it. We can add water, but eventually, if the water stays on the planet and doesn't get like blown off, let's just pretend. So if the sun's explosion doesn't like remove the water from Earth, eventually the Earth will cool down and the water will return back to the surface, and then the white dwarf obviously isn't hot enough to support the planet, so the white dwarf will and also look at it in the sky. So if we just remove that, I just lost what I was going to say there. The white dwarf is, you can see my mouse there, it's the size of any other star, and it's not emitting much light at all. I think in theory it should actually be emitting as much as 5 suns, but I'm not going to mess around with this because I don't want it to like explode again. So anyways, so the Earth will literally become just a ball of ice again. So it's like, if you saw my last video, it'd just be like another snowball Earth. And eventually the surface will, because obviously all life won't exist anymore now. Can I, okay, I can't change the colour of the planet again for some reason. Oh well, it's stuck like this now. But anyway, Earth will just be a cold, cold planet. The moon won't exist anymore probably. The moon probably would have crashed into the sun or something, I don't know. So we've just got the white dwarf left. Mars probably will be destroyed as well. Yeah, it's gone. And we've just got all of the remaining objects. The dwarf planets on the outside probably won't exist either. But anyways, as time, and I mean a lot of time, so trillions of years in the future, when the white dwarf eventually becomes a black dwarf, so it's predicted about 0 degrees. So there we go, here's a black dwarf. It is no longer luminous, it's completely dark. So if we go to Earth, completely pitch black. But this orbit won't last forever. Eventually, the gravity of the star will just decay, and all of the planets will just venture off in so let's just say due to escapes. In fact, if I just let's just remove that quick, and then just add it back. I think I have a black dwarf. Yeah, there's a black dwarf. Alright. So here's my black dwarf. It's red now. Let's just remove these 2 underscores. I just do that because I want like my custom objects to be like in an organized matter. So there we go. So a lot of the objects are just going to escape completely from the solar system. So, yeah. But these all getting... Pluto's still boiling hot from the explosion. But anyways. Yeah, so stuff like Jupiter, Saturn, they're all just going to eventually drift away. Because obviously the gas giants probably will survive. So all that's left is Earth. Oh, the white dwarf. Let's delete that. There we go. So we only have Earth left. All of these outer planets are just going to disappear. So there we go, they're gone. But because Earth is so close to the star, instead of it just drifting away, the same thing is going to happen with like Phobos and Triton and stuff. But this is in trillions of years into the future, maybe even quadrillions. Earth's orbit will eventually decay as well. So let's put it back to its original thing. So 1 astronomical unit. So where is the black dwarf? So the black dwarf is just pitch black, can't even spot it. So let's slow down again, and let's just start. Okay, that's a little too much. Anyways, put it right close to the black dwarf now. Let's make it continually orbit. And then, Earth may have liquid water for one time more, because as it gets closer to the black dwarf, and the black dwarf is obviously a lot more massive, like it has a lot of mass in it, so maybe the black dwarf will actually rise the Earth's temperature to positive degrees again. It's like that. Earth's atmosphere will be longer, but maybe we have some liquid water remaining on Earth. But as it gets closer and closer to the black... Where's it now? God damn. It keeps on getting launched away. As it gets closer and closer to the black dwarf in the very centre, it's eventually going to get too hot again. So it's just going to get absolutely torn up like Triton did. Okay, there we go. That's better. So now, let's completely just stop this orbit. In fact, actually, it'd be more like this. The orbit would completely eradicate, and Earth would literally just be ready to smash into the black dwarf completely. So let's do this. Hopefully it all goes to plan. Please work. There it is. You can see it right there. It's pitch black, completely dark. Okay, I've got to be careful here. Come on, speed up. So this is the last moments of Earth in existence. You can see there, look, it's losing mass. You can see all of these parts are starting to get torn out. Yeah, and Earth is just going to get vaporized before it hits the star. So here we go. But before the planet gets completely destroyed, it's just going to completely hit the star. And it could cause a supernova. We don't know. I don't even know what's going to happen right here. And the star will probably heat up again as well. It'll probably become like a white dwarf because of the impact explosion. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. So it becomes a white dwarf again. So let's do that. So white dwarf, because the explosion will have caused heat energy. So yeah, I don't know if it's going to supernova, but yeah. So there we go. So the black dwarf will take the Earth because its orbit will eradicate, and the Earth will plumage into the sun, and the sun will destroy it. Or what's left of the sun? We've only got 470 Jupiters left. Like if we go to the actual mass of the sun, yeah, it has less than half the original sun in a condensed ball. It's the size of the original Earth. Like if we get the original Earth here, it's only a little bit bigger. Little smaller than Neptune as well. There we go. There's our white dwarf, and obviously because it's bright again, it will probably be emitting a little more light as well. So there we go. I don't know. Is that right? I don't know. How much is that as the sun? Okay, yeah. Let's make it about, I don't know, 40% of how much the sun used to be. But by this time, there's going to be no planets left in orbit. They're just going to be completely gone. So the sun will just be a lone white dwarf for another few million years. Then it will eventually just become a black dwarf again, with the Earth's mass inside it. And it contains water. Look at that. The sun contains a little bit of water and iron. Probably a bit of silicate as well from the Earth. So the bit of the Earth is still in the sun. But anyways, and then the black dwarf will just fade forever. And it will eventually crash into a black hole or something. Because by this time, all that's left in the universe are white dwarfs, black dwarfs, and black holes. Maybe the occasional red dwarf star. But yeah, the universe will pretty much be over. So it'd be more like, where is it? Solid black. So it'd be like this. There'd be nothing left. So we just have it just fade into darkness like this. All of the stars will be dead. And there'd just be black holes and stuff roaming in the dark. And what is that over there? Is that Pluto still? Yeah. Let's remove that though. That wouldn't be there. So there we go. So it's just a lone black dwarf, and then you zoom out. There'll be no galaxies left. It will just be pitch black, like you can see here. But anyways, on this rather dark, I don't know, what should I call this? This rather dark future. Hopefully you guys enjoyed me. Hopefully I didn't muck up in what I was saying. Hopefully you understood. And also, hopefully you enjoyed this video. So, hopefully this all went good. Yeah, I'm just running out of things to say. Yeah, I'm not the most experienced guy at making videos yet, but I try my best. I'll get better. I'm doing quite well as well. And we've actually hit above, I think we're at 55 subscribers now, so thank you guys for that. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, like I just said, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, and goodbye. And also, any suggestions you have for me for what I should do in this game, leave them in the comments, and I'll hopefully read them and reply to them. So anyways, see you in the next video.